Hello, my lovelies. Today we're making fairy wings. Today we're going to start with some printable transparency film and a wing design of your choice. You can print it in color or not and in any size. For today, I've chosen this design and this size to demonstrate the different ways to use UV resin for fairy wings. Some things you'll need to get started is a UV resin kit that includes a lamp and some resin, and also some different items that can help you color your wings. So I have some iridescent glaze. I use several different nail polishes, this wonderful chameleon mica powder, which sort of shifts color. It's very beautiful. A set of iridescent nail foils and the glue you need for the foils. It is different. These foils are printed on one side only, so you'll have to be very careful when you apply them, but they are quite beautiful. They've got a lovely shine to them. Some other items or tools you'll need will include wire cut clippers, and obviously the wire for your wings. I use a nice thin size 0.5 millimeters. All right, let's get started. This is my favorite way to make fairy wings. Using one wing printout, cover it all in a nail polish of your choice. I might add that solid colors don't work very well. They look really streaky. And you're just going to paint the entire wing, even going over the line so you don't miss a spot. The next way is to blend wet polish with another polish, or several, and that way it gives you sort of a gradiated effect. And again, make sure you go over the lines so that you don't miss any spots on your finished wing. Then the last way is to color each cell of the wing in a different colored polish. This takes longer and you have to be more careful because the wet polishes will, if they touch, they'll blend and you don't want that. So it is definitely worth giving drying time between each color. I use a toothpick to help spread it out and to get into all of the little nooks and crannies. Make sure to give the polish plenty of time to dry. And then you're going to cut out each wing individually, making sure to not cut over the lines. You want to do your best to just do a nice clean cut around the edge. Make sure you keep the polished side up when you're doing this stage because it's the back of the wing. You're just going to cut a little piece of wire. I cut mine about 2 or 3 inches long and give it a little bend, and then I tack it down with just a little bit of resin and cure for about 30 seconds. I like to follow the vein of the wing as well, just to sort of mask it as best I can. Once you've done that, you're going to completely cover the wing. Make sure to get out all the bubbles and go right to the edge. Once you've got it fully covered, you're just going to pop it underneath the lamp and let it fully cure for about 2 minutes. Please note, you should probably be wearing gloves during this. It's highly recommended, and definitely make sure that you're in a well-ventilated area. Type 2 is a variation of filling the cells of the wings. In this case, we're going to fill each cell individually with resin, taking care not to fill one next to one that's already wet. You fill the cells, as many cells as you can, and then you're going to cure it under the lamp for 30 seconds and repeat until all of the cells are finished. Once all the cells are filled, we're going to go ahead and play with some of this fun color shifting mica powder. We'll make sure our wings are dry, and then we're going to just dab on this beautiful color shifting powder. I've cut the wings out, and I'm just going to use a Q-tip because it's nice and gentle. I'm just going to rub the powder over the side of the wing that has the resin on it already. Once you've finished coloring them with the mica powders, you're going to add your wire like you did in the tip 1 along the vein of the wing. Give it a little bit of resin and tack it down. Cure that. And then you're going to go ahead and fill the entire back of the wing with resin again, essentially encapsulating the mica powder between the 2 layers of resin. And what you end up with is this wonderful wavy effect. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Make sure when you're adding the resin, the full coat, that you're not putting too much on, because it will drip around to the other side and it's kind of messy when that happens. Type 3 is using nail foils and nail glue. Now this is a bit of a trickier process, but it has a really cool effect. And you can choose from any kind of nail foils. There's tons of them out there. I really like this sort of oil slick looking one. And the way to do this, and oh my goodness, definitely make sure you are in a well-ventilated area for this. That nail glue is strong smelling. It's awful. Again, we're going to fill the cells individually. We don't have to be quite as careful with this, but you're going to fill them with the glue, and then you're going to cure it for a minute. Make sure you cure it for a minute, because otherwise it won't work. Once you've cured it, you can see how it sort of changed look on the wing. It's kind of gotten all crinkly. And then you just lay your nail foil down right on top of it, give it a good squish, and then you're going to pull it back, and it leaves or transfers the pattern that's on the nail foil. And you're going to do that for the whole wing until each of the cells is filled like before. And it's basically the same process. We're just going to go ahead, cut them out. We're going to add the wire, and we're going to add resin to the entire back, and voila, finished. The next type is stickers, or using printable sticker paper. I found this gorgeous iridescent-y paper, and I printed it in my inkjet, and it just bled and smeared, and it was awful. But if I use it in conjunction with the printout on the transparency sheet, it works out great. So I just took a little piece, and I'm going to stick down my sticker, or my wing on top of the sticker. I'm going to cut it out, and it is exactly the same process. I'm going to do the same thing with this window cling, which is a slightly different product, but it works the same way. So we're just going to pop it, transfer our wing design right on, making sure you got to be careful that you get all the bubbles out, because, well, that can be less nice to look at. Make sure to get all those bubbles out, both in the sticker paper and in the window cling. And then it's the same thing. You're going to cut them out, add your wire, add your resin, and cure them. And they have a beautiful shine. The sticker pack that I got the sort of flaky iridescent in had 4 different kinds, so I did another one just to see what it would look like. Love it. Beautiful. The next step, or the next type, this is using something a bit different. This is using Mod Podge dimensional glaze. And we're going to use this on the front of our wing this time. And it's, again, we're filling the cells in because it kind of gives it that sort of realistic look when it dries, a little bit more so than just the flat wing. So fill in each cell, let it dry. And then we're going to come back with, in this case, I used like a glaze or a varnish, an iridescent varnish, but you can use any of the other substances we've used before. So you can use the mica powder, you can use nail polish, anything works. But I'm using this iridescent glaze. It's kind of a paint. And again, I'm going to just squish it on, going over all the lines, and I'm going to let it cure. And we're going to do the same thing. Cut out the wings, add the resin, add the wire. And there we go. We've got 5 different types of wings. So I made fairies so you can see what they look like. So there we go, basic nail polish. There's the fairy with the basic nail polish. All the fairies are the same, I just changed out the wings. This is the resin in the cells. And there's the fairy with the resin in the cells. Nail foil and glue. This has a really pretty sort of rainbow effect. And here's our pretty little girl with rainbowy wings. Oh, this is even more of a rainbow shine from the stickers. And then the dimensional magic on the front side of the wing and the resin on the back. You can see there's a big bubble there I didn't get out with the resin. Boo. Oh well, it's a good thing the fairy doesn't mind. So this is how I like to do my fairy wings. This is my very favorite way. But there are lots of ways to do wings, and I will be putting out videos in the next couple of months to show you different ways of making fairy wings. Thanks so much for watching and have a fairy magical day.